empowers rural youth, women, and underserved communities, one skill at a time. Symbiosis Skill Driven by the belief that the world is one family, Symbiosis has redefined higher education in India with purpose and impact. Yet in a world where degrees are many, but jobs are few, one question stands tall. How do we prepare youth for the real world? At Symbiosis Skills and Professional University Pune, the answer lies in skill-driven education, where classrooms meet industries and learning meets doing. The journey began with Dr. S.B. Mujumdar, whose vision brought values and excellence together.
The time has come when the country is going through demographic dividend. If we want to reap the advantages of demographic dividend, it is necessary that these young men and women should find jobs. But unfortunately, there is also a huge unemployment. And the reason is there is a gap between academia on the one hand and industry on the other hand. How do you close this gap? The only way is by imparting skills. And therefore, Symbiosis has started skill universities in Indore and Pune. I'm sure that this efforts of Symbiosis will go a long way in providing jobs to our youth. I wish you all the best.
Today, Dr. Swati Mujumdar, Pro-Chancellor, leads SSPU as Maharashtra's first skill-based private university. Under her leadership, Symbiosis Skill Universities have ranked at the top, SSPU, Pune at number 1, and SUAS, Indore at number 2 in the NIRF 2025 Skill University rankings.
Around 15 years back, I got a unique opportunity to work with the government of Maharashtra as a chairperson of their skill and vocational.
On behalf of Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, I warmly welcome all of you. Call. So we request everybody not to have any movement in the auditorium while the inaugural program is on, until and unless it is an extreme medical emergency. May I request everybody to kindly settle down? We are expecting the guests soon. Kindly settle down. Requesting the volunteers to kindly help the audience to please settle down. No more movements would be allowed as per protocol. I request everybody to kindly settle down. No more movements would be allowed as per protocol. As per the instruction received from the management, no more movements would be allowed as per protocol. I request all the students to kindly keep your mobiles on the silent mode and settle down. Please kindly settle down. I repeat, mobiles to be on the silent mode. In case of any emergency, kindly feel free to approach our faculty members seated in the audience wearing red tag iCards. As per protocol, I request everybody to kindly settle down. There's a security check on. I request everybody to please settle down. Please be seated, all of you. I request everybody to please be seated as per protocol. There's a security check on. Requesting everybody to please be seated for security check. There's a security check on from the government. Kindly be seated. I request the volunteers to kindly help the students to settle down. We cannot have anybody standing. Security check is on. All the volunteers, students, kindly be seated. Requesting all the students to kindly be seated. I request the volunteers to kindly help the students to settle down. Once more, a reminder, kindly keep your mobiles on the silent mode. Once again, now we cannot allow anybody to move out. We have restricted movements now because of the ministerial movement in the campus. I request everybody to please settle down as per protocols. We cannot allow anybody to move out now. I request the volunteers to be at the door and not allow anybody to move out now. Requesting the volunteers to please block the doors as per instruction received. Please restrict movements now.
Driven by the belief that the world is one family, Symbiosis has redefined higher education in India with purpose and impact. Yet in a world where degrees are many, but jobs are few, one question stands tall. How do we prepare youth for the real world? At Symbiosis Skills and Professional University Pune, the answer lies in skill-driven education, where classrooms meet industries and learning meets doing. The journey began with Dr. S.B. Mujumdar, whose vision brought values and excellence together.
The time has come when the country is going through demographic dividend. If we want to reap the advantages of demographic dividend, it is necessary that these young men and women should find jobs. But unfortunately, there is also a huge unemployment. And the reason is there is a gap between academia on the one hand and industry on the other hand. How do you close this gap? The only way is by imparting skills. And therefore, Symbiosis has started skill universities in Indore and Pune. I'm sure that this efforts of Symbiosis will go a long way in providing jobs to our youth. I wish you all the best.
Today, Dr. Swati Mujumdar, Pro-Chancellor, leads SSPU as Maharashtra's first skill-based private university. Under her leadership, Symbiosis Skill Universities have ranked at the top, SSPU, Pune at number 1, and SUAS, Indore at number 2 in the NIRF 2025 Skill University Rankings.
Around 15 years back, I got a unique opportunity to work with the government of Maharashtra as a chairperson of their Skill and Vocational Development Committee. During our years of research, we realized that the gap between industry and academia is growing because the industry expectations and the requirements of a job role are not matched in the curriculum and syllabus which is taught in a university. The second thing that we realized is that although there is a huge requirement of a skilled workforce by the industry, the social acceptability of skilled people in our country is low. In order to address these problems, Symbiosis decided to establish India's first skill universities in Pune and at Indore. For the last 2 years in a row, the Symbiosis Skills and Professional University at Pune has been ranked at number 1 position in the NIRF rankings of Ministry of Education, and the Symbiosis University of Applied Sciences Indore is ranked at number 2 in the NIRF rankings in the Skill University category. My vision is to continuously keep ourselves aligned to industry requirements and launch various academic programs that will not only build a strong foundation of knowledge but also develop skills and competencies in the students to make them gainfully employed in the industry right after graduation or even start a business of their own from the campus. We provide the wind beneath their wings and help our students to achieve their dreams.
Founded in 2017 by the Symbiosis Open Education Society, SSPU is Maharashtra's first full-fledged skill development university. SSPU offers programs in automobile engineering, mechatronics, construction engineering and management, computer science and IT, architecture and design, retail, beauty and wellness, data science, and logistics and ports.
The teachers teach with very ease. Even the complex topics become easy for me to understand. Even though I don't have prior knowledge about programming languages, technology.
Being in Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, I've got I've improvised my basketball skills by playing for the college team. We have participated in many tournaments.
We have to do our internship every year, which is a very good thing because we get to know about the industry.
The reason I chose this college is because of the strong industry tie-ups it has with companies like DRDO, Godrej, Aerospace, L&T, Defense, and Nibe Industries.
With strong industry tie-ups, including Barclays, Fiat, Pattern, Palo Alto, and Enrich.
Today we are really grateful for this collaboration because together Enrich and Symbiosis Skills and Professional University is creating a next generation of confident and skilled beauty professionals.
Skills University has really contributed big time in growth of Pattern. The first candidate that we hired for our brand management team was from Skills University.
SSPU has been with us since we've started in India, and I think they were one of the first few universities in India that trusted Pattern with their talent.
We are really grateful for Symbiosis to work with us and ensure that they are fueling the growth for Pattern.
At SSPU, 70% of learning is hands-on and 30% is applied theory. From case studies and mini projects to industry visits and soft skills, every element builds real-world readiness. Assessment is based on competency, not just exams. SSPU's labs are more than classrooms. They're simulations of real workplaces. From robotic arms and mechatronics to VR-powered design and live retail setups, students do what they learn. Every lab is a learning factory where skills come to life.
The most valuable skill that I have gained is hands-on problem solving. Working as a mechatronics engineer, it comprises of robotics and automation, Industry 4.0 and smart manufacturing.
I'm here in workshop of fitting shop and I personally work here, and my experience after working here that I improve my self-confidence that I can do anything on the machines, or I can handle the hand tools, or I can work in carpentry shop.
The most fascinating thing I find about this university is the unwavering support and guidance I have received from my professors. The amount of work and effort they have put into mastering their craft is phenomenal, which inspires me to push the boundaries of engineering as a whole.
This university is crafting my passion into profession. Placement Cell over here gives us a platform to showcase our skills at national and international level.
At SSPU, education goes beyond labs. Events like Saksham, Navaratri festival celebrations, and cultural utsav let creativity shine through dance, music, fashion, and theater. Student clubs like Simbi Aspire, Muna, and area-specific clubs foster lifelong bonds and ideas. In hostels, the library, cafes, and amphitheater, students build character, friendships, and lasting memories. Right from year one, students step into the industry. Internships aren't optional. They're embedded into every program. Many students are in pre-placement offers, turning learning into opportunity. SSPU alumni are making their mark in design studios, MNCs, startups, and beyond.
This is Jasmine Sanvi, a BBA Fintech graduate from Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, Pune. The constant industry exposure helped me stay ahead of the curve and made me industry ready. I'm thrilled to share that I've been placed at Deloitte in the finance department overlooking the P2P functions. I'd like to thank everyone at SSPU for their constant help and support.
I've completed my Master's in Nutritional Sciences and Dietetics, and Symbiosis has greatly helped me shape my future as a dietitian and career growth. And it has helped me to gain skill sets such as menu planning, therapeutic nutrition, handling clients, and currently now I'm placed at VLCC as a dietitian.
With over 500 corporate partnerships, SSPU graduates are known for one thing: job readiness. They deliver from day one with confidence, clarity, and capability. National leaders value our focus on skill development as a catalyst for India's growth, recognizing how we empower youth to build a stronger, future-ready workforce. To global dignitaries like the Lord Mayor of London and the US Consul General, their message is clear: Symbiosis is pioneering the future of India's skilled workforce. Like Swabhiman and other outreach initiatives, SSPU empowers rural youth, women, and underserved communities, one skill at a time. Symbiosis Skill Universities, where skills empower, where innovation thrives, where the future begins.
Dear distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends, it is my great honor to join you at this conference, though I am unable to be with you in person and am joining you through this virtual representation. I would like to extend my warmest congratulations on the successful organization of the Second International Conference on Women Leading the Future of Work. I would also like to sincerely thank Symbiosis Skills and Professional University for the kind invitation. I am particularly pleased to note that the university established the UNESCO Chair on Gender Inclusion and Skill Development in 2025, demonstrating a strong commitment to advancing inclusive education and skills ecosystems. My appreciation also goes to this UNESCO Chair for its valuable contributions to advancing gender inclusion and skills development. This conference comes at a very important moment. We are living in a time of profound transformation, driven by intelligent technologies. However, it is important to recognize that AI is not gender neutral. It reflects the data, values, and structures of our society.
I request everybody to kindly maintain silence and be seated as we... I warmly welcome, on behalf of Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, I warmly welcome Shri Jayant Chaudhary, Honorable Minister of State for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Minister of State for Education, Government of India, Kumari Aditi Varda Sunil Tatkare, Honorable Minister of Women and Child Development, Government of Maharashtra, Ms. Monica Nagalgaur, Honorable Consul General of Norway, Ms. Mary Overington, Trade and Investment Commissioner, South Asia, Austrade, Mr. Jesse Tang, Program Specialist, Southeast Asia, UNESCO, distinguished guests, esteemed dignitaries, members of the Managing Committee, Governing Body, Board of Management, Academic Council, our dear industry partners, representatives from media, faculty members, and my dear students. A very warm welcome to all of you to this international conference for women leading the future of work, hosted by Symbiosis Skills and Professional University in collaboration with UNESCO. Today's conference is not just an event, it's a powerful platform to reimagine the future of work through the lens of inclusion, innovation, and impact. To invoke the blessings of knowledge and wisdom and positivity, I request the dignitaries to please proceed for the lighting of the lamp. हे मॅमचं स्पीच सांग हा मॅमला. At the heart, of this initiative lies Symbiosis Skills and Professional University's distinguished role as a UNESCO chair, a recognition that underscores its commitment to advancing skill development, gender equality, and sustainable future. May I now request the honorable dignitaries to kindly digitally launch the UNESCO chair. You'll have to click the button. Yeah. We're very proud of this moment, the digital launch of the UNESCO chair. It's a testament to our commitment towards gender equality, skill development, and sustainable future.
I'm very excited and happy to announce that Symbiosis Skills and Professional University Pune has been granted the prestigious UNESCO chair in 2026 on the topic of gender inclusion and skill development. This is the first of its kind in India and Asia. Skill development is the mission of our university. Over the last 5 years, Symbiosis Skills and Professional University has been working on skill development of girls and women in order to increase their participation in the workforce.
Thank you. Dr. Swati Mazumdar, Honorable Pro-Chancellor of Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, is a dynamic leader and a distinguished expert in skill development and TVET. She holds a doctorate in skill development and is a proud Fulbright scholar. Her journey in the field of skill development began when she got an opportunity to chair the committee of Maharashtra government for drafting the state's policy on skill development and vocational education. An internationally recognized thought leader, Dr. Mazumdar is often invited by esteemed organizations such as UNESCO, ILO, Government of Maharashtra, Ministry of Education for consultation in policy matters related to skill development and vocational education. Over the past 5 years, she has been deeply committed to empowering girls and women from disadvantaged and rural backgrounds through skill development. Her pioneering work in this area has led to the prestigious UNESCO Chair on Gender Inclusion and Skill Development on Symbiosis Skills and Professional University. Under her visionary leadership, Symbiosis, an internationally reputed educational group, has established its first skill development universities in Indore and Pune, redefining the landscape of skill and professional education in alignment with the global industry needs. May I now request Madam for the welcome address.
So thank you, Shubhamitra, for your kind words. It's my great honor and privilege to welcome the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Shri Jayant Chaudhary Sir, Honorable Union Minister of State Independent Charge for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Minister of State for Education, Government of India. Madam Aditi Tatkare, Honorable Minister of Women and Child Development, Government of Maharashtra. Ms. Monica Nagelgaard, Honorable Consul General, Norway. Ms. Mary Overington, the Trade and Investment Commissioner, South Asia, Austrade. Mr. Gabriel Bordado, the Skill Specialist of ILO. Our dear friend and the co-host, Mr. Jian Teng, Program Specialist, South Asia, UNESCO. Ms. Nandini Raisinghani, Head of Global Capability Center, Rockwell Automation. Shri Pradeep Bhargavji, our mentor and supporter, Chairman MEECF, past President MCCIA. Ms. Soledad Patino, UNESCO Global Skills Academy, Paris, who will be online. And Ms. Priscilla, the Program Officer for Inclusion and Youth, UNESCO Univoc, Germany, who will also be online. Our panel chairs, Mr. Anand Chitre, the Chief Administrative Officer of Barclays, Ms. Meera Shenoy, Founder of Youth for Jobs, Mr. Chanchal Chandiok, HR Director, NEC Software, and all other esteemed panelists, dignitaries, industry champions, keynote speakers, and the members of the press and media. I heartily welcome all of you, and a special welcome to over 300 delegates who represent academia, universities, colleges, organizations, and NGOs who have gathered here today to participate in this international conference. This conference is the second edition, the last one, which was also conducted in April 2025. I'm really thankful to UNESCO for partnering with Symbiosis to conduct these kind of annual gatherings of various stakeholders who help us to deliberate and discuss on important topics related to the TVET, skill development, and women empowerment subjects. As you all saw that we were granted the UNESCO chair on gender inclusion and skill development. And I just wanted to take a few minutes, not more, because I know we are running late, to enlighten both the ministers as well as the esteemed panelists, dignitaries over here, that what are the activities that we are doing through the UNESCO chair. This is the framework that we created of the various activities that we will be undertaking through the UNESCO chair. One, prioritize on STEM-based education for women, ensure equitable and quality access education to girls and women, transform the skill ecosystem, and last but not the least, equip educators through capacity building. These are some of the initiatives that we have taken. About the conference, as you all know, that we have a conglomeration here of policymakers, industry leaders, academia, entrepreneurs, and international organizations, all working towards a common cause. And what is that common cause? That is also represented on the dais with our two honorable ministers, the Minister for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and the Minister for Women and Child Development, who have graciously accepted our invitation. And Madam and Sir, your presence here itself brings a lot of enthusiasm and positive energy in all of us at Symbiosis. This is just a picture of last year's conference when we signed the MOU with UNESCO. And moving on, the different panel discussions that we had, the highlight was the master class from none other than the head of UNESCO Univoc, Mr. Frederick Hubler, and Mr. Hervé, the chief of section for youth literacy and skills development at UNESCO Paris. This is a picture of our impact framework, where we are working on gender inclusion and empowerment, skill development and employability, industry alignment and integration, reskilling and upskilling, and employability and life skills. We have created a research office with a full-time doctoral student, a research scholar, and research assistants to continuously do research in impact analysis on how STEM-based skilling can enhance employability among girls and women, especially from marginalized sections, industry collaboration models for developing skills in underprivileged girls and women, and assessing the impact of skilling a woman towards socio-economic development, financial independence, career progression, personal growth, and scalability. Our mantra is Kushal Mahila, Saksham Samaj, Pragat Desh. This is a quick chart to show you that the girls' enrollment in Symbiosis programs has increased from 10 to 16% over 3 years in STEM-based programs. The next slide shows the growth in the placements. Over the last 3 years, the placement growth has achieved 46%, and the entrepreneurship growth a whopping 170%, from 10 entrepreneur girls to 27 in 2025 due to the skilling programs. We have been able to provide 100% placements. Our funding has increased by 10x, from 2 crores to over 20 crores only in the CSR projects, which goes to show that the industry's trust and faith in the Symbiosis skilling model for girls and women is really increased multifold. And I'm happy to share with you, sir, that all of these courses for girls and women from the marginalized sections are completely free. Not a single rupee is charged to them for lodging, boarding, and training. The internship stipends are in the range of 16 to 18,000, and the final placements for a diploma girl after 10 standard, having just completed a diploma, are going from 24 to 26,000. Today, at an age where engineers are finding it difficult to get jobs, our CSR funded projects, our initiatives for the disadvantaged girls is giving such wonderful success rates. The job roles, what kind of job roles do the diploma girls take? They've joined from an operator, but today, within 3 years, gone on to an engineering cadre. They've leaped from an entry-level role to a supervisory role. What are their contributions and their success parameters? Not only confidence, not only communication and English skills, but decisions related to their marriage, decisions related to their siblings' education, their higher education, their work choices, and even health-related decisions are being taken by these girls on their own. This is why we say that a Kushal Mahila leads to a Saksham Samaj and a Pragat Desh. You educate and skill a woman, the entire family develops, and thus is the contribution to nation building. These are just some pictures. I won't take much of your time. The girls who are doing these wonderful projects, they get trained not only in Symbiosis, but also with our industry partners. Many of them who are here I thank you profusely for partnering with us, not only in funding these projects, but also in training these girls. The certifications, sir, you were asking me before, have grown from 1,200 in 21-22 to over 5,500 in 25-26. A 350% growth in 5 years. We started with one industry partner, Fiat. We are working now with 13 industry partners across 23 locations, all across Maharashtra and India. We also do livelihood training. We have a community college in Dharavli. And these are some pictures where the monthly income of our ladies has gone up to 25 to 40,000 rupees. All kinds of livelihood training courses are offered through our community college. And these are some of the community engagement programs. Sir, we are also into reskilling and upskilling of retired Army Force personnel, of workers who are retrenched. Symbiosis is a skilling partner in almost every step of the way. Last but not the least, what is the way forward? The way forward for our initiatives under the UNESCO chair, we want to empower women through STEM-based skilling, international conferences, global networking, policy dialogue and advocacy, capacity building. We have created a separate institution of Symbiosis staff training where we are building capacity in teachers and trainers on outcome-based teaching models, on the skill pedagogies. We are offering reskilling and upskilling courses in all kinds of sectors, from Industry 4.0 to smart manufacturing to additive technologies and even robotics welding. Awareness and seminar workshops are held across the length and breadth of our country. We are launching a Kushal Sathi scheme today, sir, where the older girls will mentor the younger girl students so that not only they get good quality skilling and education, but most importantly, they have a friend. They have a Sathi in whom they can confide and develop their skills. We are conducting job fairs across Maharashtra. We just finished one where more than 250 job offers were given in a single day. We plan to replicate job fairs first across Maharashtra and then in other parts of India. Lifelong learning is definitely the mantra. All of you, I'm sure, will agree that we need to continuously upskill ourselves. We have launched the Symbiosis Digital Varsity, through which we conduct online skilling courses and then later buckle it up with hands-on training at the location. Madam Aditi, you were asking me whether we conduct skilling at the local level. The answer is yes, we are conducting skilling across 23 locations. The research and impact, I would not cover much. Our research papers are being published in Scopus, sir. That's the highest citation index that we have got. And I'm happy to share with you, sir, that this year's PhD student has also selected skill development as an interdisciplinary research area. That speaks volumes for a university which has been ranked NIRF 1 consecutively for the last 2 years. And I know research is high on the agenda of Ministry of Education and UGC, but this is not just any kind of research. This is research and impact analysis in a meaningful way. Thank you very much, sir and madam, for gracing today's function, all the industry champions and the dignitaries, and most importantly, the delegates who have come from various parts of Maharashtra to take part in today's conference. God bless you all. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
Thank you, ma'am, for sketching the detail of the work done under the UNESCO chair. Mr. Jesse Teng is a program specialist at UNESCO and also the co-host for this conference. He focuses on managing UNESCO's global initiative in technology education development for lifelong learning. With prior experience in Asia-Pacific region, he has worked with a wide range of stakeholders, including government, multilateral organizations, and private sectors and NGOs. To set the context of today's conference, I invite Mr. Teng to introduce the conference theme.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. Good afternoon. We've just passed noon to all of you here. Firstly, greetings to Your Excellency, Honorable Shri Jayant Chaudhry, Honorable Union Minister of State, Independent Charge for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and Minister of State for Education, as well as Her Excellency Aditi Tatkare, Honorable Minister for Women and Child Development, Government of Maharashtra, and of course, Honorable Chancellor Pro-Chancellor of Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, Dr. Swati Mazumdar, and the newly inaugurated UNESCO Chair on Gender Inclusion and Skill Development. My fellow dignitaries on the dais as well as off the dais, the girls and the audience, in the audience, as well as online, as well as the dignitaries and speakers who have been invited. It's an absolute pleasure to address you and to talk a little bit about UNESCO and the conference. So on behalf of UNESCO, it brings me great joy to again see everyone here today for the second edition of this international conference on women leading the future of work. It's an absolute delight to celebrate and to welcome Symbiosis Skills and Professional University as the UNESCO Chair on Gender Inclusion and Skills Development. It's very important that we do have this chair in India and the only one in Asia, because gender equality is a key priority, is a key pillar of UNESCO's work across education, across science, as well as in culture, which perhaps we are most well known for. In the area of skills development, actually, we're very grateful that the Honorable Minister is present today, because we have actually had MSDE's invaluable support in promoting India's best practices through South-South cooperation with the country of South Sudan through a tripartite agreement between UN, India, MSDE, and the government of South Sudan. And through that, we actually are focusing on a key topic that features in the conference today, which is developing private-public partnership ecosystems that promote gender, equal, and inclusive vocational education systems. So it's an absolute pleasure to be able to highlight this to all of you. So why are we having this conference? I think it's important to zoom out a little bit and to look at some of the existential crises that are sometimes not in the headlines, but are clearly known and the impacts are clearly felt. And it is important to highlight these to you. So I think the first one is the climate crisis, which necessitates a green transition. And we are feeling that every day in the heat waves, where the summer is coming earlier, the winters are shorter, there are more extreme weather events striking, whether or not it's too much rain and flooding or too much heat and not enough rain in the places that used to have predictable weather systems. We're also suffering from loss of biodiversity. We're also looking at pollution, particularly plastic pollution. This reliance on fossil fuels, which India had the foresight to move away from some decades ago, is already hitting us due to conflict impacting shipping all around the Asia-Pacific region. And so it's very important that we understand that not only we as individuals are looking for a dignified life, that we want to empower the women and girls to have opportunities for financial empowerment, for civic participation, to have a greater contribution to the national economies and global economy. We also need to manage that within the framework of sustainability and the green transition. The second thing doesn't really need a lot of mentioning, but I do need to mention that the digital transition is also a serious shift and challenge that is being addressed through the UN with all the partner countries and member states, such as India. And these are rewriting job roles, reimagining or reevaluating how certain highly skilled jobs may not be actually as secure or as employable as before. So society is changing fast. What can we do about it? I think India has a lot of good practices and has made significant progress in molding and bringing together both sustainability and gender equality. The Solar DD programs that have been very well known in the past couple of years have shown how empowering rural women to install, to maintain, and to service solar panels in all over India and bring that to the farmers and bringing that and connecting that with agriculture is absolutely fantastic model. We also see that MSDE's flagship schemes such as Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana has a strong gender equality component with over 40% of the women beneficiaries, comprising beneficiaries there. So that is some practices that we see as UNESCO as valuable to share with on a global platform or in international conference such as today. When we look at the future, so now, we talk about women leading the future of work. The future is both the digital plus the sustainable and also gender equality. UNESCO's research has shown that only about 35% of STEM graduates globally are women, and their presence in advanced technology roles are even smaller. So approximately 26% in AI, 15% in engineering, 12% in cloud computing. And in G20's research, women hold only about 22% of STEM jobs in G20 countries. So what does that mean? These figures are not just abstract data points, right? They represent the lost opportunity that a woman and girls can have to support their families, to be empowered, to financially contribute both to the family, to society, and to participate and have a voice and to lead. So this is what the whole purpose of the conference is, and we have structured it in a way that follows what UNESCO research shows about changing mindsets to encouraging women participation in low represented jobs. So UNESCO's research looks at both the individual factors, the institutional factors, and the societal factors. And so at the individual level, we want to inspire every girl and woman through strong partners such as Dr. Swati and SSPU, as well as the MSDE, to be able to understand and change attitudes towards STEM jobs, technology jobs that may be traditionally recognized or perceived as male-dominated or unsuitable for women. So at the individual level, we also seek to inspire families and friends to also buy into this trend, right? To support the decisions of girls to take engineering jobs, technician jobs, science jobs, and on the shop floor and automated factories. The second aspect is to enable. So we need to enable girls and women at the institutional level and through institutional cultures from an education perspective, from policy perspective, like family care policies, childcare policies, and also through access to resources that will allow them to take up these traditionally underserved jobs and occupations. And I think the last one is very important. So at the societal level, we need the data, we need the research to understand where do girls and women stand vis-a-vis men in certain occupations and jobs. Because we have seen in certain countries that what you think is very traditionally male-dominated may actually be not so male-dominated in a particular occupation. Whereas in others, You get niche, like biological sciences is very heavily women-dominated, but in physics, for example, there is very low women representation. So these data points and having a live tracking of skills data using like UNESCO's Global Skills Tracker is really important to be able to have the information that guides policy, that guides institutions in changing. So I don't want to go too much into detail on what can be done, because this is how the panels, this is the role of the panels that are coming up in the next half a day and what they will show to you. I want to reassure everybody and open the opportunity and the chance that UNESCO is ready to keep building with you. We will continue supporting future-ready technical vocational education and promoting gender transformative reforms, and particularly building partnerships across all of society. It's not just the government's job, it's not UNESCO's job, it's not the industry's job, it is actually all of us. We need to converge as society to make gender equality a reality. So on that note, thank you very much. I am very excited and looking forward to the conference. Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jesse Tang. Time for felicitation. May I request Honorable Pro-Chancellor Dr. Swati Majumdar ma'am to kindly felicitate Shri Jayant Chaudhary ji, Honorable Minister of State for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Minister for Education, Government of India. Thank you, sir, for coming and joining us here at the conference. I request Madam to kindly please felicitate Kumari Aditi Varda Sunil Tatkare, Honorable Minister for Women and Child Development, Government of Maharashtra. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us here at the conference. Thank you so much, ma'am. I request ma'am to kindly felicitate Monica Nagelgaard, Honorable Consul General of Norway. I request ma'am to felicitate Mr. Gabriel Boradu, Skills Specialist ILO. Requesting ma'am to kindly felicitate Ms. Mary Overington, Trade and Investment Commissioner, South Asia, Austrade. I request Madam to kindly felicitate none other than our partner, Mr. Jesse Tang, Program Specialist, UNESCO. Thank you, ma'am, for doing the honor. We are proud to unveil the Research Compendium, which is an impact study of gender inclusion and skill development. May I now request the esteemed dignitaries to kindly join us in unveiling the compendium. This compendium is a culmination of rigorous research and insightful analysis reflecting the transformative impact of inclusive skill development initiatives, particularly in empowering women and marginalized community through skill development. It highlights the evidence-based practices, success stories, and critical learning that contributes to shaping more equitable and future-ready work environment. Thank you, dignitaries, for doing the honors. Ms. Monica Nagelgaard currently serves as a Consul General of Royal Norwegian Consulate General in Mumbai, where she plays a pivotal role in strengthening diplomatic, economic, and cultural ties between Norway and India. With strong focus on fostering bilateral cooperation, she actively engages with government bodies, industry leaders, and academic institutions. May I request Madam to kindly address the audience.
Thank you so much. Honorable Union Minister Shri Jayant Chaudhary ji, Honorable Minister, Ms. Aditi Vada Sunil Tatkare, Government of Maharashtra, Dr. Swati Majumdar, Mr. Zhang Tang, distinguished guests, colleagues, and dear students. It is both an honor and a privilege to join you today at this important conference on women leading the future of work. I would like to thank Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, UNESCO Chair on Gender Inclusion and Skill Development, bringing together such a distinguished group of stakeholders to reflect on one of the most important transitions of our time. We are living through a period of profound transformation. Digitalization, artificial intelligence, and the transition to sustainable economies are reshaping industries, redefining skills, and transforming the nature of work itself. At the same time, persistent gender gaps, particularly in STEM fields and leadership roles, continue to limit our collective potential. In this context, international collaboration becomes increasingly important. The partnership between Norway and India in education and research is enriched by the complementary strengths of our systems. Norway offers a compact, high-quality education ecosystem, while India represents one of the largest and most dynamic education systems in the world. Together, this creates a strong foundation for collaboration, combining quality with scale and innovation with diversity. This partnership is already delivering tangible outcomes. Through the Indo-Norwegian Cooperation Program in Higher Education and Research, we currently have around 70 active collaborative projects across priority sectors such as health, environmental technologies, artificial intelligence, and social sciences. At the same time, we are expanding our cooperation into entrepreneurship and innovation. A strong example of this is the Norway-India collaboration for excellence in entrepreneurship, education, and research, NICER. This brings together leading institutions from both countries, including universities such as NNTU, IIT Roorkee, and the Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, to strengthen entrepreneurship education and scale its impact. The initiative focuses on equipping students with practical and cross-cultural entrepreneurial skills, supporting startups in scaling innovations across borders, generating new knowledge in diverse contexts, and strengthening collaboration between academia, research, and industry. Importantly, it also places a strong emphasis on engaging female entrepreneurs, ensuring that women are active participants and leaders in innovation ecosystems. In parallel, our collaboration is becoming increasingly people-centered. Around 100 students travel between Norway and India each year through exchange programs. We are also expanding cooperation in skills development through new institutional partnerships, including in vocational training and education. This growing engagement reflects a shared understanding. The future workforce must be equipped not only with academic knowledge, but also with practical skills, adaptability, and a global outlook. As we strengthen these partnerships, ensuring women's full participation remains essential. Norway has long prioritized gender equality across education, research, and innovation systems, recognizing that women are central to shaping the future of technology and artificial intelligence. Norway's progress is also reflected in concrete outcomes. For instance, according to the ACCU study, Norway has the highest proportion of women employed in engineering roles in Europe, with women making up 30.7% of the engineering workforce. Women also represent 47.1% of the labor force in science and technology and 21.3% in ICT. Importantly, women account for 29.7% of STEM graduates and nearly 40% of tertiary educated women are employed in STEM fields. While challenges such as the gender pay gap remain, these figures show that sustained policy focus and collaboration can drive meaningful change. We must ensure that women are able to transition effectively from education to employment, access opportunities in high-growth sectors, build and lead enterprises, and actively shape innovation and decision-making processes. This is particularly important in emerging fields such as artificial intelligence, green technologies, and entrepreneurship. At the Royal Norwegian Consulate General in Mumbai, this is also a key priority in our daily work. We are actively working to promote gender diversity, particularly in sectors where women have traditionally been underrepresented, such as the maritime industry. Through our engagement with maritime institutions, industry stakeholders, and training partners, we are encouraging greater participation of women across the value chain, from education and skilling to leadership roles. We see this not only as a matter of inclusion, but as essential to building a more resilient, innovative, and future-ready maritime sector. One of the most pressing challenges we face is bridging the gap between education and employment, and increasingly between education and entrepreneurship, particularly in STEM fields. As industries evolve rapidly through digital and green transitions, the demand for skills in science, technology, and engineering continues to grow. Future-ready systems must therefore empower women not only to enter these fields, but to thrive within them, creating jobs, driving innovation, and leading change. This will require stronger alignment between education and industry, supportive and inclusive policy frameworks, access to finance, mentorship, and networks, and collaborative innovation ecosystems that actively enable women to participate in and shape emerging technologies. The future of work will be shaped not only by how effectively we navigate the digital and green transition, but also by how inclusive these transitions are. Empowering women across educations, skills, and entrepreneurship is not only a matter of equality, it is a driver of innovation, economic growth, and sustainable development. Let me conclude by reaffirming Norway's strong commitment to working with India and with global partners to advance gender equality, strengthen education and innovation partnerships, and support inclusive growth. Together, we are not only responding to change, we are shaping it. Let us ensure that women are not only part of the future of work, but are leading it too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. We are privileged to acknowledge the presence of Kumari Aditi Varda Sunil Tatkare, Honorable Minister of Women and Child Development, Government of Maharashtra. I request Madam to kindly address the audience.
Namaste, good afternoon. It is a pleasure to be here today at the International Conference on Women Leading the Future of Work. I would like to extend my warm regards and welcome Honorable Minister, Union of State for Skill Development, Shri Jayan Chaudhary ji, Honorable Consul General of Norway, Ms. Monica. Special mention, and I would appreciate and we are extremely glad that Dr. Swati Mujumdar has got us, all of us together on this platform today. All the distinguished guests present on the dais. It is a great achievement for Symbiosis Skill and Professional University to be awarded the UNESCO Chair for Gender Inclusion and Skill Development. I'm grateful to the UNESCO and SSPU for bringing together such a diverse and forward-looking platform. Forums like these, where policies, industries, and education come together, are extremely necessary, especially because future of work is changing quickly. be it artificial intelligence, robotics, engineering, or any other new technologies. It feels like things are moving faster than we can keep up. At the same time, what's encouraging is that more and more women are stepping into the workforce, not in any fixed role, but as professionals, creators, and more importantly, as decision makers. We have to make sure that as world changes, women are not just included, but are actually leading that change. In Maharashtra, this has been a strong focus for us as well as government. Under the able leadership of Honorable Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis sir, Honorable both DCMs Shinde sir and Sunetra Ji Pawar, we have been trying to move the conversation from supporting women to actually enabling women to participate in the economy in a meaningful way. A big part of this work we have been doing through MAVIM, which comes under Women and Child Development Department. Today, through MAVIM, over 20 lakh women are connected through self-help groups. They start their small businesses, run their own enterprises, and are becoming financially independent. Having had the chance to meet many such women, I have witnessed the change in confidence level, decision making, and how they see themselves in the society. At the same time, we are focusing on financial inclusion and support systems through initiatives like various schemes. For instance, Mukhyamantri Majhi Ladki Bahin. In Nagpur, 3,000 beneficiaries of this particular scheme have come together to form a cooperative and raised more than 30 lakh. They use these funds to provide microloans to help start their own enterprises and small businesses, skill development workshops and trainings, even in rural areas. I would request Honorable Minister, in Maharashtra, the Skill Development Department and Women and Child Development Department have collaborated together to come up with various programs in terms of training and giving various skills and giving more and more opportunities for employment and revenue generations for women. As policymakers, we have a vision for Maharashtra as well as the country. We've brought fourth women's policy that aims for comprehensive and all-inclusive development of women with focus on 8 areas, including education and skill development, gender-responsive livelihood enhancement, gender-inclusive infrastructure, gender-responsive governance, and political participation, among others. This is where the vision of the government of Maharashtra, the department, and institutions like SSPU are perfectly aligned. Our strong focus is on job-oriented courses, skill-based learning, industry integration, and that is what the state and India needs today. I would take this opportunity to congratulate the PCMC as well, being the first municipal corporation which has collaborated with SSPU, and more than 150 students, girl students, have been involved in this collaboration and benefited from it. I'm sure in the coming years as well, not only PCMC, at the same time, the government of Maharashtra and Women and Child Development Department would also like to get in collaboration with SSPU. And I'm sure we will come up with more such programs. Our late DCM Ajit Dada Pawar had initiated this, and Honorable DCM Sunetra Kaki Pawar has also been very keenly following and supporting this collaboration. So I'm sure togetherly we can come up with more such collaborations with the government, and of course with Honorable Minister here as well. Something beyond the state is, I'm sure, been lined up. I congratulate SSPU for coming up with BTech in Defense Technology, where more and more girl students have been part of this course. So I'm sure this is one of the encouraging steps towards giving equal opportunity to all the students. We've had an opportunity to interact with some of the students earlier, and we were impressed seeing their confidence level and the clarity that they have today in the kind of career they have been choosing. So I wish them all the best. I would take this opportunity to congratulate all the establishments as well who have been collaborating with SSPU and have been giving opportunity to students, especially girls, from various rural parts of Maharashtra. I think this is one of the most appreciating initiatives taken in hands by the collaboration of SSPU. I would also like to appreciate the work done by UNESCO Chair on gender inclusion and skill development. This is an important initiative that is helping build inclusive ecosystems where women are not just participants but leaders. So when we talk about the future of work, I think we should look at it with a lot of optimism because the opportunity is huge. I would once again congratulate SSPU for the excellent work being done here. And to all the young women present, your journey is not just about building careers, it's about shaping the future of our society and the economy of the nation. It's time to shift from women's development to women-led development with a strong focus on employment and welfare of women. So thank you so much for having us all here. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you for acknowledging the effort of SSPU. With a woman leading, we are committed to have many more collaborations with the local government body and the national government bodies and empower women. We are deeply honored to have within us our chief guest, Shri Jain Chaudhary ji, Honorable Minister of State for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Minister of State for Education, Government of India, a dynamic leader, a strong advocate for youth development. Shri Chaudhary ji has been at the forefront of driving India's skill ecosystem towards innovation, inclusivity, and global competitiveness. His vision for empowering the youth is unparalleled, and without further ado, may I request Sir to kindly address the audience.
First of all, thank you to the compere for talking me up. It's a distinguished panel today. Honorable Minister Ms. Aditi ji from the state of Maharashtra, who are partners in education, skilling, and her portfolio is women child development, which is a core thrust of today's program. I was very happy to hear her comments. Dr. Swati is, of course, the mission behind all of this, the moving parts, the energy, the vitality behind this institution, her leadership. And you know, at the very top of institutions that work, organizations that are effective, typically you need some individual who's a little bit off, a little bit. So in my conversation with Dr. Swati, she's highly motivated. Every second word in a sentence of hers to me relates to education or skills. So I think she lives and breathes the university here. This is her baby, and I'm happy to interact with her and support her in her efforts. Ms. Monica, Honorable CG, Government of Norway, and as you know, Norway and India are also working together in a special partnership. The TEPA agreement, which was a precursor before these turbulent times that we are witnessing today, coming together in partnership, not just in trade and investment, but a commitment that $100 billion in 15 years and 1 million job opportunities to be created in India, a historic first where countries pen down a commitment with regards to skill and jobs in a trade agreement. So very happy to share the stage with you. Mr. Mercado from playing a vital role in ILO from the beautiful country of Philippines, which I had the honor of visiting recently and interacting with the Honorable Minister, who visited my residence, and we had a good chat over breakfast. Our partners, Australia, where we have a special arrangement again on education and skill. It's a track where every year there's an event, once hosted by Australia, and recently we hosted an event in Delhi where Honorable 3 ministers from Australia were also here. And of course, partner from UNESCO, representative from UNESCO who's come here, and it's a great honor for the institution, for all the students, the faculty, the leaders of this institution, and in fact for the entire education ecosystem in the country, that the UNESCO has granted a chair, a unique facility being created in the Symbiosis Skill University. I'm very happy that Symbiosis has given the emphasis on skills. Of course, there is a strong legacy of the group, more than 5 decades, and spanning various different verticals in education. But the fact that you've integrated skilling into an institution that is offering from degree, diploma, certificate, all the way till PhDs, makes skilling aspirational in the eyes of the students and their families. And that is a national priority. When we talk about lifelong learning as a mantra, how can we ensure that everyone in the stakeholder ecosystem truly understands it and adopts it as a life mantra? I think what you're doing as a skill university is definitely aiding to that effort. I'll talk to the students first because I can see a little bit of uneasiness. I'm also Minister for Schools, and I was a student who was always sitting in the back, sometimes skipping school as well. So I did not expect to be made in charge of schools now. But I understand what children go through, young people, when they're made to sit through sometimes boring functions. I will just tell the students here, because they're all, majority of them are girls, they may all be girl students who have been invited to this function today. I now represent the system. While I was an MP in the opposition, I'm a president of my own party, I had a lot of freedom. I could be on the streets, I could be doing dharnas, and I've done all of that. Now I'm part of the system. And let me tell you, every step of the way, the girl students who are studying in any educational institution, who come from villages, from impoverished backgrounds, from different regions of the country, you cannot afford to be status quoists. Systems are engineered and designed to maintain the status quo. No matter how progressive and reform-oriented the leadership may be, the system is made for that. कि जो चल रहा था उनकी चलती रहे, व्यवस्था परिवर्तन नहीं होना चाहिए. But as a young student growing up, this is the best time to be young and to be Indian. You have so many avenues, you have so many opportunities, so many options. Also makes it difficult to choose. But you cannot afford to be status quoists. You need to be the gentle anarchists as young girls who will not accept, who will not submit, and who will not agree to the glass ceilings. To the institution, on the many milestones that we are inaugurated today, one aspect is the chair. It will also aid the government of India, it will aid the state of Maharashtra as well, from WCD to education, on making more evidence-based policy. I look forward to the research material and the research compendium that we have released today. I'll also get my team to read through it. I like to be a little bit honest in my speeches. I may not read all of it, but at least निचोड़ में ले लूँगा, उसमें कोई खास बात होगी तो उसको करेंगे. Women are जो आधी आबादी जिसे हम कहते हैं, they are now an integral part of almost every scheme and program and policy at the federal level and definitely at the level of the state. Because the Women Child Development Minister of the state is here, I'd like to share that MSDE, which is the Skill Development Ministry, is also doing a special initiative called Navya, where we are focusing on adolescent young girls and looking at capacity building for them. It's a short-term program, but I'm happy to see that our ministries are already working together to implement a grassroots program. If you look at India's track record, it has not been very good of women being change agents. As the Honorable Minister said, women-led development programs. Historically, it has not been very good. Yes, we've had a Prime Minister, we've had women in eminent positions. We are honored that our President of India today, the highest chair in our country, is also, a woman is leading the country in that measure. But if you look at the average young girl, there was a time when naturally the ecosystem was a little bit prohibitive and inhibitive for them to dream, to aspire, to change society. Now I can confidently assert that things are not what they used to be. If you look at just pure STEM, India is today the world's largest share of women as graduates in STEM. It's close to 43%. I know the government of Norway has a stellar record in that. And most Scandinavian countries are actually leaders in women's participation in the workforce and in education and definitely in politics. But it is an encouraging sign that more and more women are coming forward. And even as entrepreneurs, if you look at it, in 10 years of startup India, where today India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, more than 2.25, 2.23 lakh registered startups under DPIIT. Under the DPIIT registered startup system, close to 1/3 of them are women-led, or they have women in those leadership positions in those startups. Of course, you may ask, enterprise creation, registration as a startup is great, but are they able to scale up? How many of them are progressing to become a unicorn? How many of them are really creating wealth for their shareholders? Are they being listed? Are their VCs getting exits? How many of them are really, breaking that last milestone? So if you look at the unicorns in our country, about 18% of them, roughly, are also women-led. A number of enterprises have also been listed. I wouldn't want to name a few companies, but I'm also, whatever little money I have, I look to invest in those companies that are women-led. And I think there is a clear analysis and research that suggests that if entities, corporates hire more women and give them opportunities in leadership positions, of course it has an impact on the value system, but it has a direct impact on profitability. For whatever reason, if you have women-led enterprises or more women in your boards, your companies are going to make more money. And I say this to all the champions from industry who've come here, that in a room earlier we sat and we interacted with each other. A large percentage of that room was still men. So if you want your shares to outperform the BSE, NSE indexes, we need to hire more women. There are many ways where private educational institutions, specifically skill universities, can partner with schemes, and especially the national scheme that we are right now got on our table is 60,000 crore 5-year scheme, roughly 7 billion USD. It's a massive investment and commitment to completely reimagine and overhaul the ITIs. ITIs have largely been ignored. When I was an MP in the opposition, I say this, no matter what the munch and platform is, I say it, because I have to own up to it. I was an MP over 5 years from Mathura, representing Mathura in the Lok Sabha. I visited many schools. I have visited engineering colleges. I, of course, have to go to panchayats, have different kind of programs and interactions with your communities. I never went to an ITI. Neither was I ever asked to visit an ITI. I don't recall any ministry program, government program where the MP was asked, why don't you visit the government ITI? There's more than 3,000 government ITIs. That is the first stop and sometimes the last option also in the pecking order for young students in our village communities who feel कि अब क्या करना है, नौकरी नहीं मिली, चलो ITI का certificate ले लो. This is the first time that 60,000 crore, such a massive resource, is being dedicated to it. And it's a very tricky thing because it requires, it mandates that the governance of these institutions needs to be overhauled. Therefore, industry has to come on board. They must have real skin in the game. And that scheme actually, the guidelines, and I ensured that it did so, they allow for educational institutions, for skill universities, for industry associations. If one industry is not willing to engage, they don't want to give CSR, they don't want to run actively a government institution, there can be some misgivings about that. then as knowledge partners, nothing stops symbiosis from having partnerships with, which you already do with industry, and taking a few of the ITI clusters under PM Setu. I wanted to put that on the record. Honorable Minister Aditi ji said that we have to do something, but we have had discussions, no real announcements to make, and I'll shy away from that. I don't want to give a very long speech here. I'm happy to see women leadership in this room, and I have a lot of hope from you. Recently, as we know, the Parliament failed collectively. We have to own up to it. We failed to pass an imperative act that would allow for more women. And I say this because about 7-8 years ago, I made an announcement that in my party, I will give, 1/3 tickets. But I couldn't. The reason I couldn't was because if you look at the activists, the grassroots leaders in my party, I couldn't find enough young women who were even thinking about becoming candidates, which is why perhaps in India is a unique case where you need to dismantle the glass ceiling to give a specific mandate for our affirmative action to be effective. Again, I'll talk about Norway. I think your percentage historically has been 45% women parliamentarians. Now it's about 42%. In the 18th Lok Sabha, we are at 14%. In our state assemblies, we're at 9%. So you know the direction I'm going towards. And so I think we need leadership on that. I would just point to the words of the American poet Maya Angelou, who said, "You may write me down in history with your twisted, bitter lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I will rise." So with those words, I thank you. The future of work is not just going to be about technology and innovation, Industry 5.0, AI, megatronics. All of that is real. All of that is already here. But the future of work is going to be defined by equity and inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, I express my heartfelt gratitude to both the ministers. I'm sorry, but both the ministers have expressed that they would want to leave because of their busy schedule. So I take this opportunity, sir and madam, to express my heartfelt gratitude on behalf of Symbiosis Skills and Professional University and being here and inspiring all of us here. So however, we continue with the inaugural program. I request everybody to please be seated. We continue with the inaugural program. I request everybody to please be seated for the ministerial protocol. Please do not move. I request everybody to please be seated and not move for the ministerial protocol. We continue with the inaugural program. Stories of Change, Women Leading Transition in Work and Society. This session would celebrate journeys of women who are not just participants in involving world of work, but powerful change makers who are shaping and driving transformation across industry, influencing innovation and redefining leadership process. To have the first keynote, we have Ms. Mary Overington, Commissioner for Australian Trade and Investment Commission. Over to you, madam.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone, distinguished guests, colleagues, participants. It's an honour to be here at SSPU this afternoon, and what a wonderful inaugural session we've had so far with some very valuable and I think some quite bold messages as well from our honourable ministers. I'm Mary Overington. I'm a Trade and Investment Commissioner for the Australian Government, or Austrade, and I'm based in Mumbai. And as we explore gender inclusion and the evolving world of work, I first and foremost wish to congratulate Dr. Swati, Pro-Chancellor at SSPU, who I'm sure is about to head back in, but really congratulate SSPU and your team for convening such an important forum and acknowledge the distinguished leaders who will steer today's dialogue and all to those who are part of this conversation. Your presence here really underscores the significance of this conference and its key themes: empowering women through quality education, skill development and innovation, directly aligning with SDG goals 4, 5 and 9 in particular. So if I share a little bit about my journey and my own path, I'm originally from a city in Australia called Brisbane. It's a small city of about 3 million, which by Australian standards is actually quite sizable. And I transitioned from roles in trade promotion to now leading the critical and enabling technology team for Austrade across South Asia. And that's brought me into the dynamic market of India, as well as in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, where I champion Australian tech and life sciences and health domains. And of course, it's always a pleasure to be here in Pune and at SSPU in particular, and we were just able to enjoy a tour of your labs and the machine shop and see a lot of that innovation in action and expertly presented by your female students here. As Austrade's South Asia Diversity and Inclusion Champion, I've witnessed how gender equity fuels innovation, supporting women entrepreneurs and supporting inclusive partnerships. And I really look forward to working with Dr. Swati as UNESCO's chair on further initiatives in gender inclusion. And working in the field of international business and in such a fascinating bilateral corridor has shown me the power of women as leaders, how we navigate global transitions with resilience and collaboration, how we foster inclusive environments, and most importantly, the unique power that women have to lift each other up to greater heights, regardless of our nationality, our vocation, our domain of expertise, or our backgrounds. And I'd also like to acknowledge the leadership shown by colleagues in both of our countries who actively champion gender equality, including men who use their voice and their influence to elevate others in the workplace, in the classroom, or at home, to support women's participation in the workforce and society and really challenge the status quo that we've spoken about today. So speaking of Australia and India, our two nations are bound by shared values and mutual respect. We have a common vision for the future, and that shared vision is reflected in the depth of our economic relationship and our people-to-people ties and the opportunities that we're creating together. Last year, the Australian government released the Australia-India Roadmap for greater economic engagement, and that identifies 4 superhighways of growth: clean energy, education, agribusiness and tourism, and it highlights major roads such as defence, technology and health. And that call to action aims to scale partnerships and secure supply chains and deepen cultural ties between our nations. Our Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement, which the Honourable Union Minister of State spoke about as well, it really benefits Indian students and professionals by enabling a mutual recognition of qualifications. And that means that Indian degrees are widely accepted in Australia, and that streamlines the path to further study and professional employment. And India's progressive national education policy, which emphasises internationalisation and creates new avenues for Australian universities to establish campuses, joint degrees and collaborative programs, is very much a part of that picture. That means there's an opportunity for deeper collaboration and deeper academic and research exchanges. Australia leads with the first international branch campus opening in India via Deakin University, and that was followed by the University of Wollongong in Gujarat. And we have several universities now opening campuses: the University of Western Australia in Mumbai and Chennai, Victoria University in Gurugram, Western Sydney University in Greater Noida, and in Bengaluru, La Trobe University and the University of New South Wales. We were watching very closely when India released its latest federal budget, and that includes $16.5 billion in education, which I'm reliably informed is expressed as 1,07,000 crore rupee, but feel free to correct me later. And a lot of that is in strategic investments in AI, in healthcare and in digital sectors to support expanded institutional infrastructure and inclusive STEM programs. Today's discussion sits at the critical intersection of global workforce transformation and the shared ambitions between India and Australia to have a future-ready society. And central to that is the imperative for gender inclusion and a rapid skills development required. And women's participation in that workforce is the key driver for growth and innovation. SSPU's skills program in AI, cybersecurity, as well as defence technology, e-commerce, and more is timely for that bilateral relationship. And tech is not a standalone industry. It's integral across industries, and we see that in India's growth in medtech, in fintech, quantum, in agri-tech, and other areas of technology as well. We share a number of key initiatives to continue to drive this. In May 2024, CII and the Business Council of Australia launched the India-Australia Women's Leadership Forum to mentor future leaders. And Austrade's Australia-India Innovation Network aids tech firms and Australian giants, the likes of ANZ, Canva, Atlassian, to thrive via India's R&D ecosystem as well. And the MOU between NASSCOM and the Tech Council of Australia further boosts digital cooperation. Mr. Jian spoke about India's rooftop solar program, and as part of the Australia-India Renewable Energy Partnership, a new rooftop solar training program has opened that will train 2,000 women and youth as solar technicians and installers. And this initiative aims to build a network of solar training academies across India that are aligned with Australian standards and draw upon Australia's leadership in green skills. The Australia-India Future Skills Initiative delivers vocational training in tech, and some examples here are Australian edtech firm Maxme, which is led by an Australian women entrepreneur, which has partnered with Indian institutions to launch a human skills software. Tamil Nadu has partnered with Australia's Q Control to integrate the Black Opal Quantum Education Platform into its upskilling initiative. And the aim there is to make quantum computing a mandatory module for engineering students to bridge the global skills gap and meet future industry needs. And Amplify AU and ACER India have signed an MOU which was signed at the AI Impact Summit in Delhi to advance evidence-based assessments and teacher capacity through responsible AI integration. So this is a sample of the growing opportunities between our economies to build the future of work together. The future of economic growth is closely linked to the empowerment of women, and data speaks for itself in that regard. But there's more to be done at a global level, and when we look at a industry by industry analysis as well. So let's commit to more innovation ecosystems that lift women from education to leadership. I'm conscious of your time, thank you, and I look forward to being part of the productive conversation ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much for enlightening us on the way ahead. Stories of Change. To share her story, we are honored to have Ms. Nandini Rai Singhani, Head of Global Capacity Center at Rockwell Automation. May I request Madam to join us on dais for the presentation, please.
Okay, yeah. Good afternoon. Okay, that's an introduction. But essentially, in my previous role, I was with Rockwell, leading their GCC for product innovation and R&D. Yeah, I've been asked to speak on this topic. So before I begin, I want to thank Swati Muzumdar and Symbiosis Skills University for giving me this opportunity to share my story. I feel really deeply honored and humbled at the same time. Yeah, so basically, we were hearing the ministers, so I want to call out that I'm a product of the government of Maharashtra's free education for the engineering, which was introduced somewhere in the 1990s. I'm from the first batch. So I think it was really great to have the ministers talk about more and more efforts that the government is doing and how important it is for us to make the change. I have studied engineering in electronics communication, and I was a, university topper. But after having completed my graduation, I could not get into a single job. I went for interviews across so many electronics companies, and I'm talking about Nagpur. I was based in Nagpur at that time, and I never got a call. And later on, after doing this for a couple of times, I realized that it was basically that the whole, the manufacturing or the companies, they all had men. And, whether it was the managers, the first level managers and so on, they were not ready, so how I'm going to handle one lady or whatever it is, right? So I started up with working in a corner shop in one of the lanes where I was training the field engineers in electronics, and they brought back damaged circuit boards. So I was a part of the team repairing it. Having done that for 3 years, the founder said, this is not going to work for you, Nandini. You might have to change your field and then start into software. So, I then, because it's really not going anywhere, I had to leave my passion for the field that I had so much deeply involved in. And I started my journey in software. Having started as a software engineer, again, at the workforce, you will even today as young girls, and this is more like an address to the young girls who are there sitting here in the room today, you will still come in a place which is in a workplace where you'll find majority of the people around are young boys and managers being men. I mean, nothing bad about it. That's the reality. However, when I started, the culture was, it was really about, what time did you clock, what was your exit time at the office? Did you exit, if you exited at 5 o'clock, you were not, you're not in the race. You had to exit at 12 o'clock. Are you exiting at 2 o'clock in the night? Then superb. Are you waiting in the office throughout the night? You're up for the next promotion. This was the reality then, okay? Things have changed. Those hurdles are no longer there today at most places, but the hurdles haven't completely gone off. The structure and the shape of the hurdles have changed, but they still do exist. That's why I'm sharing the story with you. Right, and so the slide, please. Yeah, so this slide I've picked up from the internet. The data from the internet shows that while India as a country has done exceedingly well, the minister has quoted, 50% of our STEM students are girls. It's amazing. It's outstanding, the biggest record, the highest record benchmark across the world. But we are losing our women in the workforce. The red arrow there, it says that 50% of the young girls sitting in the room today will be out of work within the first 3 to 5 years. If that doesn't hit you hard, for the amount of effort everybody, institutions, your families have put in, I think it really needs to, there's a lot to be done. And that done and the doing is not for the girls to do it. The doing is for institutions, for groups, for governments. It's not going to happen without policy change. That's my experience. Okay, so we move next. I've been giving 10 minutes, so I'll be cognizant of that. Right now, as a director and a senior leader at a company, while I think that, well, you might say I'm there, but, there is this thing of the boys' club. It is a reality. And it's not that there are people who are planning for it. It just happens without knowing. It's an unconscious, without any malicious intent behavior, which is existent, right? Which you will find, which I find it, which is there. And it really depends. While all the policies and organizations are perfect, but the reality really depends on the leader at the top. So the implementation and the experience of those policies in day-to-day work life is not defined by what's written in a decorated document. It is defined by the leader who is actually in charge of setting it up. And therefore, I think that policy making and strengthening through policy is the cornerstone of making the change. If we can move to the next slide. Okay, the slide has kind of got a bit broken up, but I wanted to end it with a few recommendations based on my experience. My first one is for all the young women out here who are probably looking forward to begin their careers. So women, I think girls and young women, you are going to face hurdles. So it's important, and that's the philosophy I followed. You don't focus on what's happening today, or you don't focus on now, but you focus on the impact. You focus on the impact you're creating for yourself, for the society, by the work you're doing in terms of creating whatever you're working at. So focus on the impact. So essentially I mean that you have a compass, but let that compass just not tell you what the weather today is, but let it tell you the weather 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That's where you should be looking, so that you don't get distracted by the little hurdles that you face along the way, and they're going to come, that's for sure. So the women should be more, I guess, the young women